And welcome to Cemetery Views. I'm Bugs Moran, and today I'm going to some small little cemeteries out in the country, finding some really unique, crazy stuff you find in a cemetery. Now this bell, it's called St. Joseph Prairie Cemetery. I'm wondering if there used to be a church here, and this used to be the bell that was in the church. Almost guarantee that. It was 1846, St. Joseph, and I don't see where a church would be unless maybe it was over there, or maybe it was in this area here. It's a big open area. Maybe the St. Joseph Church might have been. I think that used to be the St. Joseph Church. You see the way it's built? It looks like an old church, and there's an excavating company that owns this property now. So I think they remodeled it to be as like garage, but it's shaped totally like a church. So I'm thinking that used to be the church where the bell was, and then they just moved the bell over there. Pleasant Cemetery near Worthington, Iowa. Now you walk into the cemetery and you notice that it's overgrown. Natural cemetery, which means they don't grow the grass. They don't mow the grass. They basically let it grow naturally. And there are actually burials in here. And sometimes they'll do prairie burns in here, which means they'll burn this. And yes, I don't have my hat on. I know a couple of you say, hey, I like you better with your hat on. But this is definitely a cemetery. And I'm telling you, it's out in the middle of Iowa. In the rolling hills of Iowa, eastern Iowa. I Google mapped this, it's on a gravel road. So this is obviously some local family cemetery, but this is really neat. I've seen a lot of these. Now, as you can see, there's a few people buried here, and it looks like they cut around these tombstones here. So I'm wondering, out of this whole area, I'm wondering if these are the only folks that are buried here. This is called Mount Pleasant Cemetery, basically in the middle of a cornfield. Let's look at a few stones. Somebody's putting flowers here. Oh, that's a broken stone. That one's hard to read. Looks like 13 years. I'm going home to die no more. Can't tell a date on it at all. It's hard to read the dates. But this one says it was born March 11th, died June 28th, 1850. It's only 3 months. Oh, really? Wow. Some of these, a lot of these you can't read. They're just way too worn to read them. But people still come and put flowers on them. People are coming by here and they'll put flowers on these folks. I mean, these are recent flowers. Here's one from 1856. Someone's really decorating that. Here's a big stone that's in the ground. So yeah, it is so quiet out here. It is so quiet out here. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm in amongst farms. I mean, there's farms. But all you hear is the wind blowing through the corn. You hear cars in the distance. But look at that view. Look at that view. So yeah, it looks like there might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like I said, I could not read the names on these, but it looks like there's 9 folks. There might be more people buried here. Like I said, it's a natural area, so this is going to be a short video. Some milkweed growing, all kinds of wild plants. So there's probably a time when this is so tall, you wouldn't even know this is a cemetery without that sign there. They got a neat sign. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. This is made out of iron. Even the statues. Wow, look at that big iron cross with Jesus. Look at these statues. Wow, look at the detail. Look how well preserved these statues are. Look at that one. Look at her eyes. Look at her eyes. Look at the detail in those eyes. That is so amazing. Now, it feels like wood or plastic the statues are made out of. They're not made of metal, but they're not made of cement either. They're kind of made of a wood. I don't know, it feels kind of, I don't know, some kind of ceramic, some kind of material that's not metal and it's not concrete. But what a statue. What an interesting statue. Now there was a string tied to it and I thought maybe I could ring it. That would be cool, but it wouldn't move. I think at one time maybe the component is probably so rusted that at one point you could probably pull that string and ring it. But that is a real bell, guys. That is a real bell. That is not some fabrication. That is a real, authentic bell. That is really amazing here at St. Joseph Prairie Cemetery. Now the cemetery itself is just a really teeny, small country cemetery. There's some interesting tombstones. Let's look at a couple. We were married in 1962. Leo is gone. He died in 2015. And there's Leo there. Virginia is still with us. A lot of Catholic and Christian cemeteries. There's a big, cool cross that looks like it's made out of stainless steel. And a couple of really neat crosses here. There's no name on them, but really neat iron crosses with crucifixes with Jesus. Goodman. Patrick Goodman, he died in 1888. Now look at here. I don't know if these folks are buried back here or they just stick the tombstones back here. I am wondering if these are the first tombstones that were in the cemetery, because they're kind of bunched up here. We got another iron cross here. I absolutely cannot read that. Looks like 1852. A couple of other ones, unfortunately, they were set here up against this tree. So who knows where they were buried at. And you got John, looks like purple. He died in 1919. It's a cute little cemetery here. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you at the next unique cemetery. Or prairie cemetery, like this one is. I think that's what they call them. They call them prairie cemeteries. Very nice.